What's up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to an exciting video where the new Corviknight has been released, and your boy got extremely lucky. And those of you that watch the channel know I'm not the biggest grinder in the world. Some people were having lure parties with magnetic lures trying to catch this thing for hours. I got very lucky. Your boy can be a little bit more casual sometimes. I was just playing my Go Battle League sets. I got a few of the Rookies, the pre-evolution of this guy, and on the fourth one I got, I don't normally disclose my IVs because sometimes for good Pokemon, I like to keep them a secret for potential tournaments, because if someone sees my IVs, they might be like, oh my gosh, I win CMP against this Pokemon for Rise, that gives them an advantage. But nevertheless, get out the spreadsheets. Rank 1 Corviknight we caught from Go Battle League, and we're about to see this thing in action. Buckle your seatbelt, pause the video, sit back, grab a snack. Corviknight, along with Galarian Corsola and Shadow Drapion. So Corsola, it's also my first time showcasing it on the channel, I believe. At least my first time using it on the channel, and it's a super strong Pokemon. So some of these games, you're going to see Corsola kind of steal the show just because it's so strong. But Corviknight as well gets some crazy wins here. This first battle in particular, I believe, is kind of... okay, we come in with Corviknight here, and we're going to go for a Sand Attack down against this Palkia. That Aqua Tail does a sizable chunk of damage from Palkia. And in comes Dugong, so a little bit awkward here. We're going for the Sky Attack. Now, I actually haven't looked into the efficiency, but I would presume Sky Attack is a little bit more efficient, hits a little bit harder than the Iron Head. We're going to take this Icy Wind, hoping we hang on, and then swap immediately into Drapion. And now we have 2-shield Drapion trying to close out this game for us. We're getting off the Crunch here. Crunch against the mighty Dugong. Dugong seems to be everywhere right now. And I'm going to respect this, even though it's probably an Icy Wind. It would leave us with pretty low health for the back Pokemon. And it's a Toxapex. Oh, this first game actually is really close here in the end. We are debuffed, which is unfortunate. And I'm trying to think how I want to try and close this out. I have a little bit of energy on my Corviknight, but the problem is I am debuffed still. So I swap, and I don't quite get to the Sky Attack. So one thing I could have done there would have been throw the Crunch and then get a 0-turn swap to get off that Sky Attack. I don't know if it would have been enough debuffed Crunch plus Sky Attack to knock out, but that's probably the only thing we could have done differently here, because now we're just a little bit too low, and Dugong is still there. So we go for the Crunch here on Dugong, but even if this was to knock out the Toxapex, I think would get the better of us. So a loss there, but we're not going to hang our heads. And you see the crazy elo. You see the crazy elo. And that speaks to how strong this Pokemon has been. And here we go. We see a Talonflame lead. Shiny Talonflame, very cool. I think this was a pretty fascinating game, honestly. We going to throw after 6 here. And they pretty much have to respect the Power Gem, right? It'd be a pretty crazy no shield here. So they're going to shield up. Nice timing by the opponent, throwing after 1 Incinerate, not getting scared. I'm going to elect to take this. They do have the back-to-back right now, but they decide to do another Incinerate, which lets me get off another Astonish and Nightshade here, rather. And it looks like they're actually going to go for the full farm down. So at this point, I'm up 2 shields. I know Drapion can't really handle this energy, so I'm actually going to come in with Corviknight here. And although I'm taking super effective Incinerate damage, which is not ideal, I can actually resist the Charge Attack. So I take the first Brave Bird. He's at a second Brave Bird, so I'm actually going to Protect Shield. Go for a Sand Attack down. Unfortunately, he does land 1 more Incinerate, so we are left pretty low here with Corviknight. But he comes in with Toxapex. And now I'm thinking, man, if he came in with Toxapex, what the heck could be in the back? Maybe like a Serperior or something? So I'm going to go for the Crunch here. And we are not really threatened as of yet by the Toxapex. So we are going to let this first Brine connect. Building up, and he does catch onto a Serperior. So this is totally fine with us. We also get the defense drop, which is quite nice. Gonna build up to 5, throw on Charge Attack priority, of course. Drapion will win the Charge Attack priority against the bulky Serperior. Then we swap in the Corviknight. How cool does this thing look, dude? Corviknight looks so cool. As much as I love our old boy Skarm, Corviknight's, excuse my language, excuse my French, a pretty badass looking Pokemon. We don't, that's the rare rise curse. That probably wasn't on your bingo cards. We keep it PG-13 on the channel. But we're on to the next one. And I think I actually have these sets backwards. So this was actually the third set I used with this team. And a terrible lead here into Diggersby. We're going to try our best to try and escape out of here. He actually goes directly for a Fire Punch, so doesn't bother building up to the Scorching Sands. Just wants to chip me and then get out of here. Goes into Emolga, but this energy is going to be difficult for Emolga to handle. It's a pretty glassy Pokemon, meaning it can't take attacks very well. You see how much that Crunch did? I'm not going to fall for the Chart Attack priority. I want to make sure I overfarm if I can. So I'm going to do 4 here most likely. Throwing right before the next Discharge. Now, the opponent has the decision to make if they're going to use a Protect Shield. They are. They're going to get off this next Charge Attack, and I can't afford to have Corsola on Diggersby, so I'm actually going to Shield to take back Switch. It's not like Corviknight does that well against Diggersby. Oh, he actually comes in with Talonflame, and I get off this Aqua Tail. Now, I was a little bit worried that, like, one Quick Attack might knock me out, so I actually just Blind Throw, and it's caught on Diggersby, so this is totally fine. We catch, or we land an Aqua Tail on Diggersby. Totally fine with that catch. It's going to help Corviknight potentially win this matchup. Let's see. The Sand Attacks just are not doing very much to the bulky Diggersby. But we take the Fire Punch quite well. I think this is one of those matchups. We revealed that we have the rank 1 Corviknight. But I think with a higher attack Corviknight, you actually pick up some what are called break points, where you do 1 more damage per fast attack. So the Diggersby matchup is one, I believe, where you can pick up that bulk point or break point. And notice how we overfarm so much expecting Talon to come back. So we actually do get off a Parting Sky attack. That is huge for us. And then I wait 2 turns. I catch onto Drapion. I was hoping it was the Brave Bird. That would have been even nicer. But it is just a fly. I think I snuck in an extra Astonish there somehow. Our opponent must have lagged a turn. So that is unfortunate for them. But now this is going to be really close. Such a terrible matchup for Corsola, but Diggersby has been shipped so much. Power Gem, not quite enough. Maybe double Nightshade would have been more efficient here than Power Gem Nightshade. But I wasn't quite sure. Scorching Sands lands, and we get to the Nightshade. This is double resist that I did have the Power Gem, so I probably should have gone for that. But Nightshade's still enough from that sliver of health. And we get the win. That was a pretty crazy game. And yeah, you see 31-33, another Rifty D. And we ended up being at 31-88 ELO. And don't worry, we got a couple more sets here, which were our first few sets, I believe. But the ELO we winded up at actually would put us at number 12 on the global leaderboard. If it was like to stay where it is right now, it's probably gone up a little bit because of the Go Battle Week, so 20 sets per day. But yeah, so pretty exciting. We're gonna go for a shield here, expecting they're probably not gonna bother baiting a Corsola, right? And it was Water Pulse, so Water Pulse not quite as threatening as Earth Power, I believe. Could have probably taken that, but we go for switch. In comes Pidgeot. And this is kind of perfect because Corsola is going to struggle against the Pidgeot, right? So we bait out the Charjabug now, and we have Corviknight in the back for that Pidgeot, which is going to resist all the charge attacks and the fast attack coming from Pidgeot. We take the X's knowing we can probably hang on and get off a Parting Crunch here. Crunch, will it connect onto Charjabug? No, it won't. So we're going to come in with Corsola here. And we really need Corsola to get this thing within, like, Sky Attack range for Corviknight. Discharge connects. And I was really debating whether I use my shield here. I decided to use my shield here because the Volt Switch damage would be pretty threatening against Corviknight. In comes Pidgeot. I decided to throw my Power Gem while I'm here, since Pidgeot hasn't had a chance to debuff yet. And that does a lot of damage. So now we just got to hope that we can build up enough energy. And even after maybe a Feather Dance here, Sky Attack will be enough to knock out both Pokemon. Gonna overfarm. Want to make sure I have extra energy for the Charger Bug. For reference, Ironhead is 50 energy, so once you double up on Ironhead, you are capped out on energy, and we get to this Sky Attack very quickly. Corviknight just so fast with Sand Attack to get to these hard-hitting charge attacks. And there we go. For some reason, like, one-turn fast attacks just feel faster in terms of, like, energy gain than two-turn fast attacks, even though it'd be the same as, like, Shadow Claw or Powder Snow. But Sand Attack just feels so fast for some reason with that energy gain. It's on to the next one. It's kind of the same thing with Fury Cutter, right? I always thought of Fury Cutter as like this ridiculously fast energy gain attack, but in reality, it's like the same as Shadow Claw or Powder Snow. It's not like anything super crazy. Great lead here into Annihilate. They're going to swap Drapion, and I hesitate here. I probably should have gone straight Corviknight immediately, but because I hesitated, I decided to just stay in momentarily, and gonna go for a Nightshade here. I figure they might want to invest in Drapion, so I do get a shield. Now we're seeing the Sand Attack, super effective, chunk a little bit. Drapion gonna fire off a Crunch. It doesn't quite do half, and I don't get debuffs. That's nice. So I know I have to, I know I'm able to take this. Defense fell. We're just going to go for an Iron Head here. Should be enough, and we might get countered down, unfortunately, but that's fine as long as we keep switch. It's actually a Morpeko, so a little bit scary now. They get a 4 Thundershock head start here. I'm going to charge attack priority on the potential Aura Wheel, and I do decide to respect it, because I figure no matter what I shield here, the next one will be resisted, so I can probably hang on to the next one. Aqua Tail gets the Protect Shield. I know a catch is possible here, but I'm okay with it because I feel like even if he catches, I can still find a win condition here. So I'm actually going to bank an Aqua Tail. And what I'm thinking here is go for the farm down, come out with a Power Gem, and that way he has to throw energy immediately. And if he throws energy immediately, then I can just Aqua Tail him. And I'm not sure if he lagged there or if he just conceded. But I think even if he throws the Aura Wheel immediately, then we just have the Aqua Tail ready to go, which still knocks out. So that was our friend Maxi. Super cool guy, super nice guy. So shout out to Maxi, one of our teammates as well. And it's on to the next one. King Alexander. What's he running? He was running a pretty crazy team, if I remember. Yeah, Miltank lead. I decide to pivot Drapion immediately, met by Marowak. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. And he does a wise thing here. He throws on alignment to not allow me to get to another Aqua Tail. So I'm debating whether I want to shield or not. I could have farmed down with Corsola, I guess, but I decided to come in with Corviknight to get a big Sand Attack down. And I guess I was kind of hoping if it was like double Mud Slap or something, maybe it would force him to come in with the Miltank. But it ends up being a Drifblim, which is just not really what we want to see here. Because Drifblim is going to resist the Sand Attack damage. I swap in Corsola, and he's just going to go directly for the Icy Wind. So I'm like, do I shield? Do I not shield? Pretty difficult scenario here. And, yeah, I think we're just in a tough spot at this point. We're debuffed. We're going for the Power Gem. Corsola. Going to struggle against normal types, of course. And he's going to CMP me here. Debating what I want to do at this point. The problem is if I let it go, like, Corviknight's just a little bit too slow here, I think, to close out this game. And if I was to shield, it's not like the Power Gem is really that threatening debuffed. It's not like it's going to threaten to knock out or anything. So at this point, I think I just top left knowing it's over because he still has a shield. He still has the super healthy Drifblim. And a Sky Attack wouldn't have been quite enough to knock out at that current health. So also, he could just let it go and just save the shield for Drifblim. So tough team composition there. Well played by King Alexander. And now we play Jason, arguably the best Go Battle League player in the world. Here we go, Corsola into Annihilate, and as soon as I see the Dugong Annihilate, I'm assuming it's Bastiodon in the back, so I'm kind of thinking, like, how do I manage the Bastiodon with my line? I wasn't necessarily planning on swapping out, but as he built up so much, I figured I should swap out eventually here. And now I'm thinking, like, I don't necessarily need to go for switch. Because I'm up a Protect Shield. Although Shadow Annihilate is going to be a little bit tough for Drapion to handle. Just because those counters are so oppressive. They do so much. I go for the Iron Head. Jason always plays for alignment. So he's going to shield to try and take back switch advantage. And I actually pivot out here. And this little head start ends up coming really in handy. So I'm going to go directly for the Crunch. He's already committed a Protect Shield. He might be less inclined to use another. And I'm thinking if it's Bastion back, like, I could potentially shield this, get off the Aqua Tail. And if he lets it go, I could get off a valuable Aqua Tail against the Bastiodon. Jason is going to shield his super low Annihilate. And it's a simul KO. So now it's basically Corsola up a shield with a little bit of damage already. Against, wait for it, Shadow Bastiodon, of course. I know he's going to try and catch on Dugong eventually. So I wait. And we get an extra farm down, which is quite nice for us. We've got 100 energy here. Going to land the first Nightshade. We're going to try and land the second Nightshade against this Shadow Basti. We still have a Protect Shield to hide behind, and then I get a little bit cheeky here. And I do a slight undercharge. So Mr. Corviknight can get the final Sand Attack down. And we get a nice little win there against Jason. Jason has beaten me so many times in the Go Battle. It's nice to get one back there. Here we go. Corsola versus Talonflame. Surprised how many Talonflame, honestly, I saw when I was playing with this team last night. I saw several Talonflame leads. I feel like you don't see it quite as often, like in this ELO range. We're going to allow this first charge attack to go through. It is the Fly. In comes Drapion, and I decided to just throw this Nightshade, actually, to chip it. Maybe make it easier to deal with. So even if Drapion like starts to invest shields and flips this matchup here, we can Aqua Tail it with our own. We get to the Iron Head before the next Crunch, which is nice. Iron Head going to knock out Drapion. Expecting Talonflame to come back. And it does. And Talonflame at least is forced to expend energy here, which is something. And we've got a 2-shield Drapion to hide behind. They actually Brave Bird because they weren't sure if Fly would knock out. But this is really nice. This is a really nice matchup for Drapion. I know I'm going back and forth with Drapion. I'm sure there's someone that's already mentioned. It's because the official pronunciation I learned is Drapion, but I've always said Drapion. So now I use it interchangeably almost. If you catch me on the official broadcast in the future, I'm going to say Drapion. Here, I usually say Drapion. We're going for the Crunch here against Mr. Ferrothorn. That's another one. And we actually catch the Thunder on Corsola. I think it was the Thunder. Thunder. Feel the Thunder. In comes Talon. And now Talon, I was afraid, has 2 charge attacks potentially here. So I actually throw the Aqua Tail on CMP. This guarantees that I can knock it out and just use a shield. He might have been 1 short, in which case I could have gone for the extra, but I'd kind of lost track, so I just decided to make the safe play. They're on CMP. And we are going to close out the Pharaoh here with our mighty Scorpion. Aqua Tail. GG. Let's go, baby. And a 4-1 set there. You see 30-88s. This is one of the previous sets, slightly out of order. Excelente. Catch the Togedemaru. How cute is Togedemaru? Togedemaru's got to be like top 10, right? Top 10 cutest Pokemon. It's a tough list to make, though. It's a tough list to make. Oh, we've got a weird message showing up. All right. Our whole team is pretty good against Jump Bluff. So, like, I'm kind of hoping they swap out, personally. So I could line up Corviknight with Jump Bluff later on. But for now, this is fine. He's going to Energy Ball us. We're going to go for the Power Gem, trying to avoid them from catching it on something. Power Gem going to inflict quite a bit of damage. And we're willing to take another energy ball here. Corsola doesn't care. Too bulky. I feel like Nightshade should be just about enough. If not, maybe one more Astonish. It is enough. I'm getting ready to pivot because I had a feeling like he might get a sizable farm with something. And it's a good thing we pivoted because that rollout down would have been kind of menacing for us to deal with. So we pivot, we lure out Annihilate, and we get off this Aqua Tail before going down, which is really nice. Aqua Tail. Oh, check this out. We no shield because we're just willing to let this go. And we actually live the Rage Fist and get off the Aqua Tail. I think I was getting a scam message there telling me my car. I have an unpaid bill. It's not true. They're lying. They're trying to get me to send them money. Not going to happen, scammer. Corviknight. Up 2 shields. Pretty standard, right? I mean, I was going to say, like, Corviknight's going to show you what it's got here with the sweep, but, I mean, it's up 2 shields. Most Pokemon up 2 shields are going to sweep. We go for the Iron Head. I need to look up, actually, out of my own curiosity, the difference between Iron Head and Sky Attack. Because at this stage in the meta, right, it's 2 moves you don't see that often. So if I go Corviknight versus, like, Dunsparce, where they both hit for neutral. Let's see. Sky Attack does 65, Iron Head 53. So Sky Attack is, like, considerably more efficient. Does a noticeable amount more damage, Sky Attack does, than the Iron Head. So if you guys decide to use Corviknight, just know that. Because Sky Attack's only 5 more energy, but will make a noticeable difference in terms of the damage. All right, tough lead here, but we do have 2 answers. So let's see if we can overcome this. We're going to swap Drapion. On the swap here, you want to throw after 8 for proper timing. It's essentially like 17 turns versus 18 turns with the 1 turn swap in. And actually go for the back-to-back here, expecting him to throw immediately. And I get the Protect Shield. Now I'm debating, like, do I just let this go at this point? Or do I shield? I decide to put the pressure on. I'll shield. And he comes in with Basti. Oh, no. Wait a sec. I feel like something goes wrong in this big game. But this looks like such a good situation. How does this go wrong? Super effective Sand Attacks. The problem is non-stab Sand Attack. Not going to do that much. Iron Head, not that threatening. And Flamethrower does a sizable chunk. So this isn't really like that good of a matchup for Corviknight. But, I mean, if you compare it to Skarmory, it's an amazing matchup. We're going to overfarm here, throw before the next Flamethrower. Now, what's going to be in the back? We still have our fully healthy Corsola. Oh, man. I wish I had thrown my energy there. That was my big mistake in this game. For some reason, I decided to bank the move. Why not throw the move, maybe get a Protect Shield or do a lot of damage? And then this Wiggles wouldn't have a Protect Shield to hide behind. So, yeah, that's where I messed up here. And an Icy Wind might be enough to knock me out. Let's see. Yeah, it knocks me out. And now we're just in a tough spot here. I go for like a 2 Poison Sting and then try to throw the Iron Head. But because of the 1-turn swap, the Charm actually registers first. So, tough loss there. It feels like I probably should have won that game. I think simply just throwing that move before I went down would have been the play. And we probably would have won that game. So, that's my bad. Should have probably won that one. GG's to the opponent. We see Feraligatr here. Feraligatr, on paper, you would think is like dominant here. Oh, they're actually running Crunch. Kind of crazy. But Corsola has the ability to take an attack and get off this threatening Nightshade. So it's not that bad for Corsola. I swap in Drapion to not give him the full Shadow Claw down. We know how dangerous Feraligatr is with energy. Gonna shield the Hydro Cannon. Go for the Crunch here. I tried to wait a turn to avoid a potential catch. And then this surprises me. He actually Protect Shields, meaning maybe he's weak to Drapion in the back. So we're going to put up a Protect Shield here. Invest in Drapion. All shields are already down. And it's Ferrothorn. What the heck? Another Ferrothorn? And then this is kind of nasty. This is where Drapion is kind of nasty. I was seeing Dunebug saying Drapion needs to get nerfed. We get the crunch debuff, and now we CMP on the Thunder. Is this going to be enough? Bang! We knock out Pharaoh. Oh my gosh. Corviknight gets to take the game off. I can't say Kawhi Leonard anymore. Gets to take the game off. Kawhi Leonard's back in action. He's playing, and I think the Clippers are doing really well since he came back. So credit to Kawhi Leonard. The Claw. We probably got 1 or 2 more battles left in the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it this far. If you have, make sure to hit that like button. Next battle. Philbeg, terrific battler from Italy, I want to say. Not a good lead. So we're going to pivot here into our own Drapion. We are behind a Poison Sting, which is not ideal. Not ideal. And we're going to just try and manage this matchup as best we can. He's not swapping. And now here, it's a difficult predicament, right? Because we know he's probably going to try and catch the Aqua Tail on something like an Azumarill. But if we don't throw it, we might just get sniped by something. So it's kind of a difficult situation to be in. So he does catch it. Very nice. We're going to come in with Corsola here. And that little bit of Aqua Tail chip might help us secure this matchup. We'll see. Azumarill can sometimes win the zero shield scenario. I think it's IV dependent, perhaps. But the little Aqua Tail chip, I think, will help put it into double Nightshade range. I didn't think a Nightshade would knock out from there, so I actually decided to not throw it. And I think I'm going to try and double up here, actually. I think I'm going to try and double up here on Nightshade. And look at this. We double up, and even if he shields, that one bubble is not going to knock out, so he kind of has to let Azumarill go here. I'm going to look for the immediate pivot in case he comes in with Drapion. And it's a Superior in the back, baby. Corviknight. Core breaking the back. And this might be the last battle. Let's see. Great lead. In comes Sandslash. We could have, like, counter-swapped Corviknight here, but I decided maybe I'll just try and maintain switch. And if I can get shields down, I mean, that's going to be amazing for Corviknight against the Annihilate. So I just decided to stay here for now. Nightshade grabs the Protect Shield. I shield this just to keep Corsola a little bit healthier. Gonna throw Nightshade immediately, nothing fancy. Corsola with that little frowny face, looking very scary. Knocks out Sandslash. Immediately pivot Corviknight. Excuse me. Knowing he kind of has to swap into Annihilate. He's got to get out of there. And Sky Attack. Bang! One-shots the Shadow 8. I don't know. Maybe he was playing to like his only win condition that I unnecessarily bait or something. And that was a 3-2 set. So this... Oh, it looks like this actually was the last set, perhaps. So one of the sets was somehow in the right order. The other two were flip-flopped or something. We get a Teddy Ursa. And that is 31-88, which we end at, which would put us at number 12 on the Go Battle League leaderboard. Bonus battle. Hopefully I win. I feel like that was a really nice battle to end on. Hopefully we win the bonus battle. Let's see. He throws on alignment. I don't recommend throwing on alignment as talent in this matchup. It is tempting, right? Oh, but he's running Flame Charge. Interesting. We're going to throw after 3 here for proper timing. And he might give us another full sneak. Let's see. Yeah, he gives us another full sneak so that we don't throw first. And I'm expecting him to potentially shield since he's already invested in the Talon. Go for the farm down. So I swap Drapion and he's on his 3 cycle. So we're able to get off this Aqua Tail here. And now we're going to go for crunches, of course, against Toxapex. And this is looking pretty good. This is looking pretty good for us. Corviknight even hasn't had to show his face yet. And I want to say the opponent might like top left kind of early in this game, if I remember correctly. Brine, not going to be threatening enough. Oh, we reveal the Corviknight. And as soon as we reveal the Corviknight, then he's out of here. Which kind of makes sense because like if Talonflame is your lead, maybe you're going to be weak to a Corviknight in the back just based off of like typings and stuff. So, wow. I was not expecting Corviknight to do so well. And granted, yeah, we paired it with Corsola, so like Corsola is so strong, of course, it's gonna really help. But I was really impressed with how Corviknight performed, and not too shabby to get a rank 1 on like my 4th GBL reward Rookity. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, comment down below. All comments help out the YouTube algorithm. And all of that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.